Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Black Heel Podcast. I'm your host, Scott, and with my little friend next to me, Mike. He doesn't deserve any more of an intro other than that after what I just had to endure. So, in this episode, we're going to be talking about the latest and supposedly final trailer of the Fantastic Four. We're going to be then briefly talking about something I saw on Superman, moving on to the 3 episode series premiere of Ironheart, and then we'll find out if Mike is my friend or not, and we'll talk about that a little later. And ending with a character spotlight from me, and then ending for the night. One thing I will be adding that I didn't tell Mike before this, which we'll get into right now, is the next death battle is what I definitely want you to see. It is between Miles Morales versus Deku from My Hero Academia.
Okay.
They are so surprisingly similar, it was disgusting. Anyway, moving on from there, let us talk about the Fantastic Four trailer first, because I feel like we got a lot more stuff. A lot more stuff.
Before we talk about anything else, I need clarification because this is very important.
This might be. This
Am
might be.
am I tripping or did Ben have a beard?
No. So that's part of why we're talking about it, because that's one thing I wanted to know if you noticed, because that proves the amount of time that's passed,
Uh-huh.
which means he's obviously excuse me. As we kind of figured, because at one point she's pregnant, and then the next minute there's a baby. Granted,
At one point
trailer-wise,
she's not showing, at one point she is showing, and then all of
and
a
then
sudden
another
there's a
point there's a
baby.
baby.
So
So it's
some
like,
time has passed.
so the idea is Ben grows hair,
I did not know that.
but as obvious as this sounds, it is rock, as you see.
No, that's mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing.
Well, it's weird because he's shaves normally. I say it that way because I don't really know how to describe it, because it's really not hair to anybody. It's it's stone. So I don't know if it's like if it's got a different grooming name because of it, but he does have to remove the hair off of his body.
That's all right. I saw that the first time and I was
They
like,
changed the CGI.
I literally saw it and I was like, did I just see a beard on his face?
You 100% did. I think the funniest thing about that whole thing is the part that I had a problem with was Johnny carrying the thing.
Oh, yeah, I did. That actually didn't even click in my.
Mike's like, Mike's
Didn't
like,
even. I'm just like, oh, this is perfectly normal. Until you just said it, I'm like, that does not make sense.
I like how Mike's like, the beard threw me off, man, and I'm like,
I was
yeah,
just focusing on the beard.
Johnny's holding a mountain, but no, that's cool. That's cool. And you're just like, oh wait, yeah, no, Johnny shouldn't. I'm like, no, I know.
I'm
Um,
focusing on the important details.
no, so he does have a beard, which again alludes to the amount of time that has passed, which we still don't know fully how that's going to work. The other big piece here is the amount of times I'm going to hear the word herald. I'm heralding is going to bother me. I'm not going to lie to you. Um, realistically, is it something detrimental? No. However, it just for the trailer bothered me, because I'm like, I doubt it's said in that way. Meaning, like, I
Mhm.
guarantee you there's probably like, but in that trailer, I'm like, if I hear Harold one more damn time, I'm ripping off Ben's beard. Um,
And obviously, the running gag is to get Ben to say it's clobbering time.
well, because that is his catchphrase, right?
Yeah,
So that I love.
I love that they
I
broke. I love that they did like the fourth wall break, where it's like that's only in the cartoons. I don't actually say it. It's
Well,
like,
that's exactly what I loved the most about the whole thing, was that literally is where it came from, because I think he might have said it a couple of times in the comics.
mm,
I mean, granted, I'm assuming when he first came out, maybe they said it a lot because it was kind of like Batman, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so it's like I sort of get it. However, that being said, it was more in the shows than it was in the comics later on. I mean, obviously, I don't think he says it at all. Like the other thing was with Luke Cage,
Mm,
like "Sweet Christmas," like
mm-hmm.
that was his big catchphrase.
Yeah.
But it works in the show because it's his way of swearing without swearing.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, my point I'm making is like they're trying to do these things, and they're doing it in a way that works
Hmm.
for the move, like the content that they're in,
Yeah,
but also to show like it exists, but like not the way you think. And I
it's
like that.
paying homage while doing their own thing. Yeah,
However, I will say, I don't know why I said however. I loved Mr. Fantastic movement.
it did look good. Yeah,
It looks
I focused on that the second time I watched it,
I
and
well, they made sure to slow it down this time too. I noticed.
yeah,
So I'm wondering if they made sure,
they
like, oh
definitely
no, we
made it
got our stuff
look
together now.
very good.
No, definitely, definitely. I'm trying to think of anything else. Like those are the main things. I mean, other than oh no, that's not true. We got to see the warship that Galactus is in, and the fact that the Fantastic Four go in it,
Yep. Hmm.
and they see Galactus like hooked up to him, the ship, kind of, sort of. It's weird because I don't know if he's like hooked up into it or if he's just controlling it. It's really not. It really doesn't matter for the all intents and purposes. But
Yeah.
I'm curious because it depends on the direction they go.
Hmm.
Like, is it a hibernation thing, and then he'll be released, and once he's released, he's gonna come in and just grab a straw, stick it into the earth, and just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're mad at me, but am I that far off? And the answer to that is a no. No, but I also like.
If I ignore it, it'll go away.
You've been trying to do that for the last what 10 years now? No, it's been more than that. 14. 14 we've known each other now.
Has it been
It's
that long? Oh my god, go
it's been
away.
it's been 10 years since we graduated. Isn't that disgusting? So anyway,
Oh
it's actually
god.
been over 10 years since we graduated, but I won't tell you that. Not by much, not by much. It's been over 10 years by like a
That
week.
is true. That is true. I was sitting here going, "Oh yeah, 2025, 2015. It's been 10 years." And then you said over. I was like, "No, it's not past May. No, it's past May. It's almost July."
Yeah, no, it's definitely almost July. But no, so the big thing there is I loved all that. We still, I mean, we get to see more and more of Galactus, which, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, he looked good in the first time we saw him. He looks still good. I mean, I don't think he
The
looks
more that
better.
they're showing is just making it better because of the fact that it's not a cloud. It's like
I mean, yeah, but I mean, put it
we
this way:
knew that, but
us seeing
like
his feet, we were like, it's better. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it's like we didn't even need to see his face right away. But I will say I love so far I like everything. Um, I
Obviously Galactus is coming for Richards, the baby.
well we don't know that.
That's mainly what the assumption is. A lot of theories that I've been seeing is because of the fact that we know who. What's his first name again? Franklin.
This I was gonna say
Um,
this. I don't know which
yeah,
one you're talking about. I want to make
yeah.
sure.
Um,
So yes, Franklin. But we also don't know if it's a boy
also true. I mean, we're
because
just
they do
going
have a
on the
daughter.
assumption. Did I know that?
Franklin is the more powerful one. Yeah.
Yeah, Franklin's the one that we. That's the well-known one.
No, Franklin.
Um,
Franklin is the one that makes Galactus go on his knees.
yeah. So, which is why everyone's saying like we know that
You
Franklin
know
can
what?
stop Galactus, so he's coming to put
Okay.
in it
You know what? That is fair. That is not
either
so far fetched.
either kill him before or bring him under his wing, so that way he has the most powerful being ever to control.
Or he
So
goes there because he thinks it's a huge energy source, and he finds out the energy source is a kid, and he's like, "Whoa!"
many
Which,
options.
I mean, to be honest with you, any of them could be accurate.
All
Um,
roads lead to Franklin.
yeah, quite literally. Wonderful to see Agatha, but the big thing there, well, that's only a joke to those who know the comics because it is the '60s, and Agatha was technically his nurse. No, babysitter. No, there was another phrase for it.
I remember you saying this. It was
No,
in
I
a
know,
character spotlight. Yeah,
but it was a specific title that she had, and I
yeah.
can't remember. But anyway, it
I
doesn't
don't
matter.
remember it.
But the idea was she was watching over him, so I find that to be funny. Because they needed somebody. Well, they didn't know she was powerful, but they needed somebody powerful to protect their kid, who was also powerful, who they didn't know. And they
Uh-huh.
were like, "Oh gosh, everyone's coming out in the woodworks." Um, no, I liked the CGI with Mr. Fantastic, which looks actually really good. I mean, we don't see it in combat, but I don't think we're going to be seeing him fighting.
I mean, the only thing we'd be seeing is like what we saw in the trailer, where it's like dodging debris or
Correct.
like
No, no, that's what I
whatever that
meant.
kind
Like
of stuff.
and I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's just although he's not a fighter. He's never really been.
He just tries to stop.
Correct. And I mean, he's going to use his stretching abilities to literally build something, not to do anything else.
Hmm.
or at least not try to. I'll say it that way. That's the better way to say it. Um, so yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this more and more. Very excited about it, but I have nothing else to say.
No, we can
Oh
move on.
no, we got to see more of the Silver Surfer. Do do we know who she is, right? Meaning like actress wise.
We do. I just don't.
No, no, no. I'm looking it up because I'm not gonna lie to you. She looked like somebody else in this trailer. Oh
When they announced her, I did not recognize her. So
no,
I
correct. No, no, no. I know, no, no. I know, I know. I'm just trying to. Wait. Oh no, no. Played by. No, never mind. Obviously, it's not who I thought. No, for whatever reason, in this trailer, she looked like oh my God, what the hell was her name? She was the second Mystique.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
that I actually agree with you on that one. Yeah,
it was like when again, it's CGI, it's the silver, and to be
yeah,
fair, the hairstyle gives me Mystique vibes, but it obviously I get it. But my point I'm making, for a second I was like, that's not who I think it is it?
yeah.
But no, I liked it. Like I said, I liked it very much. But let us move on to what I saw for Superman. So my 30 seconds that I saw was Lex Luthor. I don't know who the girl he was with was, but she was very terrified when a Man of Steel came through. Okay,
And
did you see
Superman
this?
and Superman threatened him basically.
Well, he's drinking coffee, and apparently he had stolen or crypto. No, crypto.
The dog,
Yeah,
Crypto. Yeah.
crypto. Oh, I said it right.
Yes.
You know what it was? I said crypto, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not the. It's not the money. But it is. Um,
Crypto came first.
I know, I know, I know, but I wasn't prepared for it. So anyway, Crypto is either missing, and he assumes that Lex stole him, and he's basically threatening Lex, and Lex is unfazed.
Mhm.
And then the girl in the back is literally just filming him, which I'm assuming she's live streaming, which is to make Superman obviously look bad. And
Yeah.
Lex Luthor isn't phased by it at all. Even when the desk is thrown, he's just drinking his coffee, being like, "Are we done?"
Mm.
Which is so Lex.
So this is so something that I heard last week, and then this released, and everyone was saying that this kind of coincides with it. Supposedly, the end of the movie is supposed to pay homage to season one of the Superman animated series from when we were kids back in the 90s. And that is that scene because when Superman first kind of gets on the scene, um he kind of pays a visit to Lex, and Lex is like rambling and rambling and talking, and Superman's just hovering there staring at him with his arms folded, and just all he basically said was, I know what kind of person you are, don't mess with my city, and if you do something, I will come for you. He didn't really do anything, he just silently threatened him. And
This one they did
that
the opposite.
they went full out. But
No, no, no.
um
Meaning like they went the opposite in the sense of like Superman was kind
yeah,
of the one rambling, and Lex was just like,
yeah. So that's kind of what I've been hearing. Like I said, like I told you before, is that when they release these first scenes, first looks, I try not to watch them.
No, and you know what's funny too? In my mind, I'm like, there's still 2 weeks, but there's not. It's this week, or was it last week?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's this week. Yeah,
Yeah.
because yeah,
So that's what throws me off. So it's like,
I keep forgetting about the Amazon thing too.
no, no, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, so I'm like, oh, I'm safe to look at stuff, and I'm not.
People have also already started like the early previews, and then now the early screening
I
is
know,
going to
which
come.
means I gotta have to like avoid everything now, which does stink a little bit. Especially with being released a week earlier on Amazon, because then it's like now I gotta hide for a week before I can, you know what I'm saying? Which
Yeah.
sucks. Um, we're seeing it that Friday, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. Um, I have it written down, but I forgot what day of the week it was.
Do you remember the
But anyway,
time?
7:30. No, 7:45.
There you
It
go.
is. I know. I like how I said 7:30, and then I was like, that's not right. 7:45.
I mean, the earlier you get there, the better.
No, no, no. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just stating like you understand.
Speaking of getting there, did you see that now? Actually, you don't see, but did you hear that AMC is going to start putting when you buy the tickets? Is that there are going to be 20 to 30 minutes worth of previews before each movie. So the start time is the start time of the trailers, not the movie.
I thought that already did that.
They didn't put it on the when you go buy it. They didn't. It's never said it. But
Oh, so I just assumed. So I didn't even question it because I always thought like when you go see it, it's automatically like. I granted, I don't think I would know for sure it was 20 minutes, but I always knew it was the previews first, and then it was the movie.
well, a lot of people don't realize that. They think that the 740, like 7:45, is the start time of the movie,
Which
not
is
of the
not.
previews.
No,
It
it's not.
hasn't been like that in a long time.
I will say maybe it's because I've been to the movies more recently that
I
it
mean,
just
yeah.
feels like it's always been. But I also don't remember what it was like before COVID, so I can't even tell you.
Well,
Um,
I mean, I remember this for when I say years, like I was a kid when I remember them changing that over, because it was always like my parents when we used to go to the movies was like, okay, we got to get there so we can get there, not miss anything, and then eventually it started when we show up a little bit late. Instead of the movie missing some of the movie, we'd miss some of the previews, and that's when they started changing. But
correct.
um,
But no, no, but I'm very much looking forward to it. I will now be staying off the internet because now everything will be out there, and I don't want to see it.
hmm
So are you ready to move on to Ironheart?
I am, I am.
So no, no. So there was something. So everyone understands what's going on here. I said to Mike that there was a part at the end of episode 3 that I hated, and that if Mike didn't know what it was, we were not going to be friends anymore. However, I realized that that wasn't a punishment. So my whole thing is, um, I'm going to be really I'm okay with you giving a fake answer, but you have to know what I was actually. When I say pissed off about, you got to understand like what happened that made me go, what the fuck.
so
When I
so
say it, you'll be like, "Oh my god, you're right," but I don't know if you'll notice it right away.
okay, so what went through my head
You
was
assumed it. You
as soon
assumed it
as the
was. Didn't you assume it was a cliffhanger?
well, I mean, I was joking about that. I
Oh,
didn't. um, so like when the episode finished, and I turned to Steph, and I was like, Scott said something happened in this episode that really pissed him off, and I was like, I really don't know what it is because like I really enjoyed this episode, and she was like, yeah, I thought it was a good episode, and I sat there for a minute, and I was like, it's because Mephisto was there, but he wasn't actually there. I'm like, I know exactly what it is now.
the best part is, you know what's hilarious is I'm literally going, "This was such a great show," and then I went, "They didn't. They showed him without showing him," and I flipped out. But it was so funny because I was like, to be fair, I was not expecting to see him in these 3 episodes.
I wasn't
To be
either.
fair,
Yeah.
so it's not like it was super shocked. However, the fact that they did the end piece where they show Johnny, and then all of a sudden we see a figure, and that figure made me think it was Mephisto, and then obviously they make it very clear that it is supposed to be Riri in the sense of like a vision being seen. It's not
Yeah.
actually her. But I was like, you mother effers. I'm like, they did it to me again. And what killed me was I was like, this happens to me every time. Every time I think he's gonna be there, he's not gonna be there. And I'm like, I should have just because it was funny. It was I was dead set he wasn't gonna be there. He wasn't gonna be there. He wasn't gonna be there. And then that happens, right? That scene starts, and I went, we're gonna see him. We're gonna see him. We're gonna see him. And then we see the figure after Johnny gets there, and I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna see him. We're gonna see him. We're gonna see him. And then it's Ironheart, and I went, we're not seeing him. We're not seeing him. We're never gonna see him. He's
It's
not
never
in the
gonna
next three
happen.
episodes. He's not in the next 3 episodes. He's done. He's gone. He's never. He doesn't even exist. Mephisto doesn't exist. And you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm pissed off. I'm done.
Just accept your fate.
Hell doesn't exist. Hell doesn't exist in Marvel in the cinematic universe. The devil doesn't exist. Therefore, Mephisto does not exist. So we're done there.
Yeah, drink your juice. Drink your juice.
Oh, I'm drinking a lot because I'm furious.
No, that
But
was
no,
it was just so funny when it clicked in my head.
right?
I was
It's
like
so. I was like, I know it's. I
I
know
was
it's
like,
not
I
supposed
know
to.
exactly what it is now.
And I'm like, and it was funny too because they did such a good job of getting me again. Because like I said, I was dead set he wasn't gonna be there, and then they're like, and I'm like, ooh, and then they were like, nah, and I was like, ah, Jesus. But no,
They
so I will.
tickled you there.
To be fair, these episodes were actually really good. To be fair, they're supposed to be just like everything, like all these others. It's a oh my god, origin story.
I was wondering if you were going for that, but I wasn't also
I
sure.
was, but for whatever reason, that's not what came in my head first. What came in my head was Solo Story, and I'm like, no, that's not it.
That's not how that works.
I was like, that doesn't sound right. But anyway, so this did a really good job. I did love the episode overall. I also knew because it's an origin story, it's not going to be phenomenal,
Yeah.
but it was a lot better than I was expecting. I'm
No,
very happy
it's
with it.
definitely exceeding my expectations so far. The first episode was a little bit weird for some reason for me, and I'm like it. And I said this to Steph because I was like, I
It was
feel
a
like
weird start.
it was a little weird start, but I was just watching and I was like, I feel really uncomfortable with the camera angles. And I don't know why. I feel like they were zooming in weird where it was like because like you're focusing in on the person talking, but it's like they want us to see both people, so like they have the other person in there, but they're partially cut off. And I'm like, I feel weird. like
But it was only in the first episode, and I don't
it
even
was
remember if it
only
was
the
the.
first episode.
But I don't know if it was the full episode. Oh, now that you
It
say
was
that,
when the big one was when she was walking on the beach with her friend.
yeah, that was yeah. No, I know.
Like that was the one where I was like, this is weird. But
The other
otherwise,
one,
like,
no, there was another point too where she flies over Chicago, and we see Parker and Johnny looking up, and they're talking to each other,
oh
and it's
yeah,
kind of like my hands right now,
yeah,
one kind of in, one kind of not. Like Johnny was almost center, and Parker was off to the side, and I'm like, you could have moved it
could have
over a
just
little bit.
like zoomed out a little
But
bit
again,
or
so like
whatever.
that's minor stuff. I also love the fact that she was at MIT for over 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dying here, man. I've been drinking so much water, it's not even funny. Um, and the humidity today is making me like dry, and I know that's weird to say, but like
And it wasn't. I mean, for me, it wasn't that humid today.
I hear it was. I don't know why.
Yesterday was humid.
Which is funny because yesterday it was not.
It rained over here, so
Oh, that's also why. But anyway, but no. So the episode starts with her being at MIT, and then getting kicked out of MIT. So she kept changing her. I don't know if she was changing her major or not taking the appropriate classes because she just wanted to keep her funding going to keep funding her suit. And then obviously that backfired to the point where I can't remember the name of the MIT AI.
oh
The pencil.
yeah. I forget his name too. I forgot about him until you just just brought
I
him
just
up.
like how she's using him, and all of a sudden she's like, "I don't feel right," and then like, "You've been expelled." She goes, "No, I'm in the air. Like, let's not do this now."
I literally, when that started happening, I was like, I feel like that's a lawsuit ready to happen because they just tried to kill her.
Well,
like,
to be fair, be, to be fair, and I'm gonna be on their
she
side of the.
stole their property, but at the same time, they shut it down while she was in the air.
Well, the argument is they did not shut off the suit; they shut off the AI, which is different because I I am playing semantics here. Okay.
I know you're playing semantics, but like both sides could be argued at this point because
Oh
it's
no, no,
like,
she's definitely got a shot. She's definitely got a lawsuit for sure. I also love how they keep showing Ironheart the title screen in the episodes. Granted, once per episode, but I'm like,
yeah, near the beginning. I
no,
like
no,
that. I like the way that like they're creative with it.
no, they definitely were. I got to give them credit on that. I also love the little boy with the wagon.
Oh yeah,
He is every entrepreneur I want to be. Um,
he's got it. He's got it made.
Honestly, I mean, he found his niche and it's working. I You can't, don't hate the player, hate the game, and I respect it. Now, my question for you is, how did you feel about her AI? Because we'll talk about more in a minute, but I want to talk about the AI.
Now, do you mean like just in general, or like
I
how it
no, no,
got
no, no. So
made?
I get the old. Why don't we talk about everything? Because I feel like it's all kind of encompassing.
Okay,
Because the
I,
creation of it, changing,
I
because it all
yeah,
comes together, in my opinion.
I like that it's like I like that it's her friend. I thought I was a little confused by it because at first the way that they were talking, they were so close that they were sisters that I was because they were saying like, "Oh, she's my sister," and I was like, "Okay, actually sister," and then they just turned it to like, "Oh, she's my friend." So I was like a little confused on the play of
Well,
words there.
stepsister is how I thought it was, because her.
So okay, so that was the case then. It was sister.
So it was sister, but not like blood sister. It was her father and Riri's mother were together, which made them together.
And then when the AI actually got made, she had said like you're the image of my best friend. So that's
Because
where
it was both. It's both. It is
yeah.
both. But yeah.
Okay,
So
so that was just like now that you clarify that, I'm glad that I just didn't like mishear it and just
no,
like
no, you heard it
so.
correctly. No, 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 you heard everything correctly. Um,
But I liked the creation of it. I mean, like the with the brain scans and then falling asleep, creating the like whatever her
but it
thoughts
wasn't
were
only
going
just
through
that
it.
too. So yes, but it's also because of her, and as we've learned rather quickly, her untreated trauma,
Oh yeah.
which legitimately created this person. And what's funny is because of that, the AI has all the same issues as Riri. However, through the lens of how Riri saw her sister, which is very important because
Mm,
it's not actually her sister, which we already kind of know anyway. And Riri knows that too. However, it's how Riri remembers her with Riri's intelligence plus the AI's ability to find new information.
yep.
She's got the personality of her friend slash sister. She has the emotional trauma of Riri, and then access to the internet like any AI.
Yeah. Yeah. The little bit of everything in that sense. But at the same time, I feel like it because the AI specifically was saying that like, I remember things in my life, but things are also faded. So I'm curious in like how much of that is actually Riri versus like the AI just being able to like AI being able to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm
Because
wondering too because I think part of the reason for that is the AI sees it as an image because it comes in as an image, right?
yeah,
So we can go through it and dissect it and everything else because it's images. It's really just pictures. I know that's stupid to say, but
yeah,
video is pictures.
videos,
The
motion
way we
picture.
see is pictures, even though we don't think of it that way.
Uh-huh.
Um, the idea is they break it down and everything else, but it's from Riri's perspective. So the gaps are what Riri doesn't know.
Mm.
So it's you understand what I mean? So it's
Yep.
like so and again, I don't know that for a fact, but that's how I took it because Riri only knows her like she only knows what they talked about, which is a lot, don't get me wrong, but I guarantee you there's some things that she didn't know what happened at the time because she didn't you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Um but no, I thought that was well done. I also love that it's an accident and it's a failure and a success at the same time
Yeah.
because it is. It's not what Riri
And
wanted.
and I love when the AI accidentally revealed herself to her mother. Her mother was just totally chill.
Her mother
Like
freaked the hell out for a minute, and then she's like, "Riri created you?" And she's like, "All right, I'll be sitting. Let's talk about this."
it was
And
just like instant. Like it was like an
well,
instant like who the hell are you? Wait a minute.
no, 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 no. She knew who it was right away.
Well, yeah.
No, no, but she didn't know the context of it. We could be fair.
Yeah.
My whole thing was, I think part of it has to do with why she wasn't as freaked out about it, was because this isn't the first time Riri's made something that's shocked her.
Yeah,
Is my
that's
assumption,
true.
right? That's my assumption because based on the little interaction we've seen, she knows how her daughter is.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
she's never not doing something.
Mm.
However, the reason why I think she was the most chill about it was because she thought that her daughter, like Riri, wasn't dealing with her problems, and then the fact that she created Natalie, she's like, oh, it's not that she's over it, but she's now not she's dealing with it in a proper way. Granted, she now realizes no, but she's realizing that it's going to be dealt with better than what it was before. Because she knows her daughter's got a problem. She knows her daughter better than most. The only person who knew her daughter more than her was Natalie,
Mm.
who technically doesn't exist anymore.
And her guy friend.
Uh, to be fair, I debate that a little bit in the sense of so she likes him. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he knows
I
her
mean,
as
I,
well as the
I
other
mean,
two did.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I'm just like
He knows her more
those,
than.
those, those are the three people that, and Greg. Those are the four people that know stepdad.
Oh, sorry. Yes, 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 yes.
Those were the four people that knew or know her.
And honestly, I think it went. I'm hesitant to know which one was ahead of the other. Was it Greg or Natalie? Because they seem in line of each other based on how she talks about them.
I think it's I think it's
Natalie,
Natalie,
because
Greg.
she's the AI, yes. But I
N-
mean, the way she talks about him and how she deals with what she deals with, it seems
no,
like it's a
I
combination of the two. But I
no,
get
I
your point.
understand that.
You're absolutely right. I think it's like one and two, like very close together.
No, I no. So what I'm saying is, I think it's Natalie overall, but then Greg also, because she also looked up to him as a mentor, so she felt comfortable with him. But there are still things that Natalie, as a sister, as a friend, knows more than a parent.
No,
So
absolutely. But I think from
now, like,
Natalie's Natalie is more the personality piece of Riri, and then Greg was more of like the intelligence, like
yeah,
breaking down of her skills and everything else
yes,
was more of him.
yes,
Um, but no, I love all the characters right now. I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie.
All of them are great. I
I
mean,
mean, there's not a single like I thought I was gonna hate the Hood Gang, and they are incredible.
no, they're making this
Also,
work. All
fun
this
fact.
all this stuff coming together is like meshing really well so far.
So all but two, because I can't confirm two of them. There's there so all but two for sure are based off of loosely of real Hood Gang members. There's two that
Oh,
I
okay,
there's one that I'm pretty sure I figured out who they are, but I'm not confident because it's not even close to the same name, but they have the same style, which is
okay.
Clown. Clown,
Oh, okay.
Pyro. Everyone else
Yep.
has a character that they're loosely based on. In fact, Stu is based on a real character in the Hood Gang at one point. Um, and he was also called Rampage in the comics as well. Um,
Trying to get that over. Mm.
Correct. So the only two that I cannot 100% confirm yet is Clown, who I think she's the chemist from the Hood Gang, which would make sense, but I'm not confident to say it is 100%, if you
Okay.
understand what I mean.
Yep.
And then Johnny. There is a guy named Johnny that was once on the team, but they weren't related, so I don't know if they meant it as a brand new character or if it's supposed to play homage to that character, if you understand what I mean.
Yep. I understand. Okay.
Um, but I thought that was kind of cool that all of them are a brand new take on the characters, regardless. Because obviously, Slug is not what we saw or in my character spotlight last time. Um, the fat guy who suffocates people with his fat rolls.
Yeah.
Um, it's a drag
Now,
queen hacker.
very, very, very different.
Correct. But I love it. Like it doesn't ruin. Like you know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like
yeah.
that.
Did you
I
did
was
you have you seen the uproars because of that character? How Marvel has gone full woke. It's like,
I think what kills me is the fact of like, to be fair, that character needed to be changed,
eh,
and not because like we need more diversity in characters, like we do, but that character, his only thing was he was so fat he couldn't do anything, and he would just literally.
I
Granted, he was
mean,
intelligent.
in retrospect, like that character was just outdated. I mean, like
Agreed.
bringing that character into live action, like,
Well, like I think about with Copperhead in Batman Origins, Arkham Origins.
okay, yeah,
Like it was a brand new take on the character, right?
yeah,
Like similarities,
mm-hmm,
like so the similarities here is the intelligence, obviously.
mm-hmm, yeah,
He was an expert hacker as well because he had to be because he can't do anything else.
mm-hmm,
Obviously, in this case, Slug is much easier to move around and stuff. But you get my point. So we have Rampage, who is now dead.
yep,
We have the Blood Sisters, who are in the comics. They are the Blood Brothers, who will be the character spotlight later on. We have Clown, who I think is the chemist, which, like I said, would make sense because of what she does, but I'm not 1,000% confident. And then we have obviously Johnny, who's the cousin, and then we have Parker, who's obviously the Hood.
and then you did, and then did you say Slug first?
Yep.
You did. Okay, I thought
Well,
you
I
said
talked
something.
about him first anyway,
You
so I
talked
didn't
about
think.
him, but
So I didn't think I need to bring him up again. But yes. Yes.
Well, the only reason I said that is because you brought up every other character that you did also
No,
mention.
that's
So
true. That is true. I do know
I
about
was
that.
I was I was like blanking if you said it first before.
So
But
I'll say this: I don't think I said it with the new group but I said it in the beginning. So I
yeah.
just assumed I already talked about it enough. Plus, I had the character spotlight, so I didn't think I needed to say it again mentally. But that being said, you're absolutely right.
Mhm.
What else was I going to say? Oh, so I love the test for Riri to see if she's smart enough to be part of the gang.
Mm. Yep.
I thought that was really cool. I also love that when they were when they were talking with Stu, and he's like, "She's not gonna make it," and then she like finds a better way of doing it. He's like, "I would have done the same thing," and
Yeah.
he's like, "Sure thing, Stu."
No. Yeah.
What's funny is I assumed he was dead right from the get go after that,
I thought so too.
but they
Yeah.
waited a long time for that reveal. Let me tell you.
No. That one played out a while.
Honestly, they did it. They took so long. I forgot that he
That
existed.
he wasn't dead.
Exactly. Like I was like, oh, we already know he's dead. Like he's dead. And then all
Yep.
of a sudden they're like, by the way, we
Oh,
found
we
him.
just found him dead.
And I'm like, well, all right. They did a good job of pacing it out enough that I forgot about him.
Uh-huh. Was he
He's a comedian.
is he the one that I'm thinking of, that it's the one with the meme of when he shoots someone and he
Yeah,
says,
yes, yes, yes,
why
yes,
did
yes, yes.
that's him?
That is actually him. Yes.
That's
S-
hilarious.
yeah. Um.
I forget his name.
I can't think of it, but his name is the name of the show. Like his
Yeah,
actual
yeah,
name is the name of
yeah,
the show.
yep.
Um. So
Eric Andre.
yes, yes, the Eric Andre show.
That just
Um.
came out of nowhere.
It'll never come back again. So my question for you is: did you have any issues with the gang at all? Do you see like
No, I thought it was good. I
and did you
liked I liked the
how about how they were recruited?
like just going after their wants and desires.
Oh yeah. I mean that's not my problem. I meant like where they were at the time. That's more of what I mean. Sorry. Like, did you have like? Did it feel like it felt to me? It felt natural. Like it felt like it worked
Yeah.
because it
No,
wasn't meant to be like in great detail. At least in my opinion, it was enough to give us an idea of everything. Um, because it was funny. Because
it was
the only
just
reason
like
why I say that is because Slug looked like he was in a drag show at the time. When he was like at in backstage as he was getting the ticket to come see Hood, and I just
yeah.
find that to be funny, because I don't know if you know this, they are actually a drag queen, and they were on RuPaul's Drag Race at one point. I don't remember
Oh, were they?
season.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Um. Yeah. So I don't. I my thing is like to me the character's perfect. Like
Hmm.
because it's its own character and it fits with the team. Like they're all a-holes in the perfect way possible. They're all criminals as they've made it very clear. Granted, Riri doesn't think of herself as, but she technically is.
She is not
She
technically. She is.
she absolutely is because she stole from MIT. Um, my other question though is, how did you like the Iron Man 1 tie-in?
Oh my god, you know what's funny is that I'm sitting there and I gasped when I was like, "Oh my god." And then Steph actually pointed out, is like, "Wait, Obadiah, is that the guy from Iron Man 1?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "I am so impressed that you remembered that." I thought that was great.
No, no, it was so. You know what's funny? When he was first introduced, I'm like, he's got to be related to somebody we know. Like, obviously not like actor wise. I'm talking about character wise. And
I
I'm like, they say his name, and I'm like, doesn't ring a bell. And then,
I
but the funny thing is, when we see the bag of dust, granted, obviously, I'm not going. It's Obadiah, obviously.
Mm,
But what I'm saying is, oh, it's the dead body, and she's not realizing it. I'm like, oh, and then she
yep,
goes,
yep.
oh, Stain. And I went, oh my God, he's Obadiah, son. And I completely, like, immediately, granted, I don't even think I really 100% knew that Obadiah's last name was Stain, but who
Yeah,
else
I
has an
didn't know.
O? But who else has an O in their name? So I'm like, it's Obadiah. It's the son of Tony Stark's first villain, and they acknowledge that he's a villain, the first villain, because
Mhm.
nobody else ever really acknowledges him as that because he's considered a
I
died
mean,
in a plane crash.
they covered it up. So
No, no,
I
I know.
mean,
I also find it fun. Well, I shouldn't be surprised that he figured it out because he would probably look into it.
mhm.
Because he is intelligent enough to be able to do so. I loved his character so much. Granted, he's not dead yet, obviously.
I loved him
dog.
building his confidence back.
Oh my god! But
Just
because of Riri,
shutting down Riri, and it's like,
and then the best part is she wants to fight back, and she's like, "No, I told him to do this. This is my fault."
and I
Like,
just love that he's walking away, and he's like, "Thanks for teaching me to stand up for myself." I was like, you're an idiot."
honestly, it kills me every time because it's so perfect. It's so good. I'm also curious how he got all his tech that he got. I know it's black market, but I mean, did he steal specifically from, like, was it Hammer or was it actually Stark Industries?
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah,
there's
no way.
also AIM as well, because there's the three big
I
ones
mean,
right there.
yeah, there's obviously a lot of other companies as well that aren't as
Yeah,
big. So,
but I was gonna say you would, based on the tech that he has, it's got to be one of the bigger ones.
mm, okay.
Because he's got more advanced tech, I'll say. Um,
And then obviously, of course, Riri screwed up at the end and lost his uh
the skin.
whatever, the skin cover, um, which caused her to have yet another panic attack.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She also killed Johnny.
Yep, she did. Well,
No, well, here's my argument on this.
she allowed him to die.
She
She didn't kill him. She just didn't save him.
Okay, okay.
Very Batman Begins.
All right, can we talk about this for a minute? All right. If I'm at a lake and a child is drowning and I'm watching it and I do nothing, I don't know.
You,
I
I
feel
mean,
like it's
you didn't kill it. You just didn't save it.
I feel like it's still a murder charge.
I don't. Eh, I don't think that is
Because it's
actually.
weird. Because all joking aside, I'm curious at the difference. Because obviously, if I ran out there and tried to go get the kid and the kid dies, right? I'm not responsible because I attempted to save the kid.
So here's the thing. It would be negligence
Okay, okay, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
because you're going into like a completely different kind of situation. Because if you're
That's
letting a
valid.
kid
That's
you're letting a kid drown, why did you let the kid go into the water in the first place? And why,
no. Well. Why did she let Johnny into the greenhouse to begin with?
he broke in.
I like.
He
I'm
kicked
like
the door down.
Mike's like he didn't. She didn't invite him. He just showed up.
She didn't let him in. He literally forced his way in.
Um.
Like I said, very Batman Begins. It's like, I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save you.
No, that is fair. I just like I said, it was just very interesting to see a hero because I mean, technically she's not one yet. I know that's weird to say,
Yeah,
but she definitely isn't like a full-fledged hero yet. This is where she's going to become the full-fledged hero, obviously.
yeah.
So like she allowed somebody to die. I'll say it that way. Um, I
Semantics.
guess,
Semantics.
but she was able to get a piece of the hood, which I'm very curious at what they're going to be able to scan it, like meaning like what they're going to find from scanning it,
I'm
because we know they're
wondering.
going to.
No, I know they're gonna scan it, and I'm just when they were doing it, I was like, as soon as they cut the piece off, it's gonna become just like a regular hood kind of situation where it's like all that was for nothing. But like, obviously, with the to progress the story, it's still
Well,
gonna have a piece of the magical.
Well, my whole thing is like you're not gonna get the abilities of the suit of the cloak with it, but you're gonna
What
still
is
have
this
the
like?
magical essence.
What was it, like Aladdin situation wwhere they did that before, where it was like they cut a piece off and it was like the piece just became a regular uh like a regular carpet, and it wasn't magical because it wasn't attached to the main entity. There was like a cartoon that actually did that
It
situation.
it might have weird as it sounds, it might have been the Aladdin cartoon, um, because there was a Disney Aladdin cartoon. So
Because like that like it, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, this is like deja vu.
so hear me out on this. You cut a piece of the carpet out, right? It is
Mhm.
no longer the flying carpet,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
However, you can still analyze it to find out what it was made with. So it's not like a regular. You wouldn't look at it and find that it's just regular fiber.
It's funny because you're analyzing this, and like in my head, you're analyzing it in like '90s terms, where I'm like, back in the 90s, I don't think we would have had this technology to like oh, we
No,
got
no,
to
but I'm just
analyze
no, no,
them.
but I'm bringing it back to today. I'm bringing it back to
No,
today, right? Because
I
like
know.
the idea is it's like the hood, like so that piece of the hood, like her putting it on her. Granted, they could get some energy from it, but
It's not gonna. Yeah,
they're not going to be getting a substantial amount of it, right? But they're going to get enough to analyze it and figure out what's going on. That's the big thing, right? So that's kind of the big thing on that piece. So she'll be able to analyze it and most likely get like what we saw in the trailer, which is her creating the magical circles around her, which then infuses her suit. We're assuming with magic.
hmm.
Um, Also, what did you think of the Hood's powers?
At the end, they got intense. Like,
So my only thing that I had a problem with, which is funny because it technically doesn't pertain to the powers themselves. It has to do more with the CGI. When he was invisible and he was like throwing people,
they
they
looked
felt
weird.
weird.
Yeah, they did look weird. Yeah,
Um, Other than that, though, everything else was fine. Like
I
nothing.
loved that when when the hood entity like took over, the eyes went straight black. I was like, that's awesome.
No, I also love too that he gets tattoos every time he uses the hood.
Yeah,
After he uses the hood. Sorry.
because the whatever spreads
Yeah.
the
Um.
possession, I guess.
Well, it's I'm under the impression because they called them scales. Johnny called them scales, which
Yeah,
they weren't scales. But my assumption is they must be like literal, looking like his skin's breaking magically. I know that's weird to say, but you understand what I mean.
hmm.
Like it looks like
He's
because they
being
look.
corrupted.
I mean, yeah,
So I mean, like they're just trying to cover it up. So
quite literally, which I do like. Did
I
Steph
just like.
wait? Did Steph recognize the hood?
Oh, I completely forgot to ask her. Sorry.
Why do I bother? Why do I bother?
I don't know.
I'm just gonna end the podcast. No. So no. So all the fighting scenes were awesome. I do have to say. I thought they were gonna be
Yeah,
cheesy. They actually were really good. Um, I had no issues really with anything. It was minor CGI stuff. Like it was when he went invisible and grabbed the guy by the throat. It looked weird, but like,
his freak out too was a little like over dramatic, where it was like, I feel like you're a fresh actor. Like,
well, he's not. But he's a Broadway actor, which I think adds to the extra drama because you have
oh,
to be
okay,
bigger on stage than you do on a film.
yeah, because just the way that he was like freaking out when he got the grabbed the throat, it was just like, eh.
No, no, yeah, because we're talking about the hood, right?
No, I was talking about the guard that got his throat
Oh
grabbed.
no, that's fair, that's fair. But I also think he's got super strength when he's invisible.
Only when he's invisible.
Well, the reason why I say that is because that's when the hood is truly activated. So like he's infused with the power. It's not because he's invisible. It's because he's using the energy of the hood.
That makes sense.
Um, I also like that it's not teleportation; it's invisibility,
Yep. Um,
which doesn't ruin anything, obviously.
I liked the ending.
Oh, the
Obvi-
ending was so good,
Obviously,
so
with
good.
uh
Oh, with Mephisto there, it was great. It was the best freaking time I've seen him.
Never gonna happen.
Honestly, Mike, this Tuesday coming out, when it comes out, Mephisto won't be there. I already know it. So I'm not even going to get my hopes up. I'm not going to think about it. He's not there. He doesn't exist.
Oh, it was just so funny. I'm just sitting here going, it was because Scott thought he was gonna see my face.
And it
Like,
wasn't until that scene that I thought I was going to see him. I legitimately mentally was like, he's not there. And
no,
then
I
I'm
wasn't
like,
expecting to see him. I was like, okay, clearly,
you're in the same boat as me. You're like, oh, we're going
yeah.
to actually see him. And then you're like, oh, we don't see him. And then you go, ha, Scott.
uh, it was just the realization was so funny. But no, I liked that he
Well,
was
I'm
willing to
glad you
give up.
figured it out because it was funny to me
No, yeah,
because it was still a good show. Do not get me wrong. I'm not actually mad about it because it was
yeah.
still well done, but it just made me laugh because it took me a minute myself to realize I thought that was Mephisto when it wasn't again. And it's
Hmm.
just a continuing cycle.
Just at least the tease is closer this time.
We don't know. We don't know actually. We really don't know. We don't. He's not been confirmed to be in this show.
The actor who is the actor has been confirmed of Mephisto,
No, no,
and he
yes,
and
but
he and IMBD leaked the actor was in the show.
they also leaked that he was supposed to be an Agatha all along, and they actually did leak that in IMDb,
I actually did not know that.
and it was taken down pretty quickly. Wonder why?
I didn't know that. I didn't
Oh
know
no,
that.
I did. So I don't believe it.
he
So
wasn't. He wasn't. He wasn't Agatha. He was mentioned. His name was dropped.
yeah, okay. Helmet.
And
You know what, Mike? Whatever. Whatever.
listen, in
Whatever.
IMBD's defense, they probably knew that the name was being dropped and was like, "Hey, he's in it." And then they were
To
told,
be fair, he was confirmed to be the actor for a long time.
"Yeah,
I get it. I get it. We want Borat to be the goddamn devil. But he's such actually a really good actor.
you've said that."
He's actually really good, and I am honestly, it's hard to take him seriously when you first see him in something, but when he's got the full on like, because he changes his look all the time in all of his movies, so
Mm.
you don't always know it's him. When you don't know it's him, like you really don't think he's Borat. Like there's no way. Like he was in Sweeney. I don't know if you ever watched Sweeney Todd.
Yeah,
He's in it. He
I
play,
don't
he
remember.
he plays the elixir guy, the one with the little boy.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Right? You wouldn't know that was him.
hmm.
He's also a good singer, obviously. But I mean, all I'm saying is like he's a very talented guy, and people only know him for his work as
I mean
Borat.
that's the one he's most famous for. So I
Well,
mean,
and also because the way he films it is it's live. Excuse me, it's live, and there's very few actors in the movie with him. It's actually real people.
oh yeah. For a moment, I completely forgot like how Borat went because it's been so
Well, it's
long.
not just
So I'm
Borat.
like,
All of his movies are
all
like
his
that.
movies
Because
like
like
that. Yeah.
the dictator, there was one where he meets Mayor Giuliani, and that turned into a scandal.
I
You
didn't
know?
see that one. I didn't
No,
see
no.
that one.
Well, no, you didn't need to. I didn't see it, and I saw the scandal. But my point I'm making is just the fact of like he's gotten under people's skin, so he's no more for that than his actual acting work, which I find to be
Yeah,
funny. So I'm not worried about him playing the character. He's gonna do phenomenal, and honestly, if they do a good enough job on his makeup, nobody's gonna know it's Borat.
just
And
as long as
it
he
looks
actually
this.
shows up.
I'm not gonna say when. It's just if. I'm gonna say when. And I'm pissed. I'm just mad. And you know what? I'm pissed off. The show sucks. It's the worst show that's ever existed.
So, what would you rate these first 3 episodes?
You know what I just thought of?
Mm-hmm.
All joking aside, I'm going to answer that in a minute. He's been announced as Mephisto for a long time, right? This
Mm-hmm.
show has been made for a long time
Yep.
because he's been waiting. He's in it, which means he's not going to be seen. I hate my life. So, honestly,
You're just digging your own hole.
so here's the question: do you want me to rate them individually or as a whole?
No, just as a whole.
This is tough because it is an origin story, but it was. I think part of my issue with this, right, was the bar was already low because of all the stuff that was kind of going on with it, and it was really good though. But like, I don't know
No.
if it's like really good, or if it's just good. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it.
Um,
Because I was
s-
thinking the same thing, where it was like I don't know because my expectations were so low. If it's just
that's
like an
exactly
average show,
like,
and I.
but it's just because I thought it was going to be horrible. It's like, oh, okay. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I I think right now it's better than Miss Marvel. Right
Oh,
now.
I kind of agree with that right now. Yeah.
Um, I don't think I like all the other shows. I think if anything, it's like either tied or slightly better than Falcon and Winter Soldier for right now.
Okay.
It's nowhere close to the top. Nowhere close to the top.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it. I
Wanda,
would put it. I would put it in the middle.
WandaVision, Loki. Let's see, the third one. Oh, Moon Knight. Moon Knight, all the way up there.
You know what's funny is that online I'm seeing so much hate for Moon Knight now, like out of nowhere. Even WandaVision, like I'm
Oh,
seeing all
while I'm
this
thinking of
hate.
this, did you hear about the? Did you hear about somebody spoiling a little bit of Doomsday? One of
I
the
s-
actors spoiled a little bit.
no, I heard someone got into the set and was recording. Uh, s-
Oh, so that I didn't know. So you heard more than me, or something different than me. So one of the actor who plays Nightcrawler, the original Nightcrawler,
mm,
I had to say it that way because you know what I mean. But you know exactly what I mean. From X2,
yep.
he was talking about the movie and how it's been so long since he played this character. He goes, I had to get into shape again. He goes, at my age, it's hard, you know, and plus, like, once you're in shape and you're gay and you're my age, people are just not going to want to stop touching you. And it gets weird. So I'm great. He was making jokes about it. But then he was like, oh, he goes, and then I had to do all these stunts. And he goes, you would think that we'd have stunt people, and we do, but I still had to do a lot of the movement too. And he goes, then I had to kick Pedro Pascal in the face. And he's like, huh.
Oh wait, I did hear about that.
So I'm like, granted, it wasn't a huge spoiler, but it was a spoiler.
Yeah. No, I did hear about that. Yeah. That was.
Um, but I just like the way he says it because the rumor right now is Doom has the X-Men on his side.
Oh, okay.
It's just a rumor. It does not mean it's true.
Yep.
But I'm thinking if they are on his side, it's because he's tricked them into thinking so. Like, you understand?
He's manipulated them. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's if that's true.
Or mind control.
I mean, it's been done before, so it's not that far fetched. Um, but no, I thought that was kind of funny, just hearing that about him like working out and everything else, and then spoiling something. Granted, kicking somebody in the face doesn't give much away,
It.
so he could get away with it. But it's just so funny because it's like we really don't know who's interacting with who.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah. And I
But
mean,
anyway,
and that could be meant for anything. Like it could. There's no context for that. So
no, and we're also assuming it's Mr. Fantastic. I know that's weird to say, but we don't know who everyone's playing officially
yeah,
because
he
the
could be
multiverse still
anybody.
exists. Because the rumor is we're going to be seeing another actor be Mr. Fantastic as well.
I did not hear that.
There's another rumor where the evil Mr. Fantastic, who's played by the worst Mr. Fantastic, meaning from the worst movie.
Oh, the 2018.
Yeah. But it's all rumors, obviously, right now. Nothing's
Yeah.
true. The only thing we know for a fact is Robert Downey Jr. is in it as Doom. Everyone else that we know of is in it, but we don't know if they're playing the character that we know.
Yep.
And I'm saying it that way because we really like we know that guy's playing Nightcrawler, but is it the same Nightcrawler? Like
Yep.
he's pretending it is obviously right now, but we don't know if that's actually true. But I'm very curious on that anyway. But I would say high mid right now for this show.
So like a 7.
I'm gonna say a 7 for right now. Yes,
Okay.
I think it had a lot more good than I was expecting,
Mm.
and I was very impressed with it. For it being an origin story and keeping my interest, because I actually legitimately wanted to watch all three because it was that
Yeah.
enticing.
Yeah. No,
Granted, I
I
didn't
had
watch the
a.
third one until the next day, but
No,
um,
I wanted to keep watching, but I just had to go to sleep, so I
well,
could. I
because it
had to
came up
wait.
at 9, it was the
Yep.
9 o'clock thing. I for some reason thought it was coming out earlier on Tuesday
Oh,
because
yeah.
I went to turn it on at 8, and it's like it's not on yet, and I'm like,
You had to wait one more hour.
I know. And then by the time I put it on, it was 9:05, and I was like, it's so late. Um, but no, I did watch the first two episodes right away, and then and then Wednesday I watched the third episode, which was so good. All of it was good, honestly. I'm very happy with it. I'm very curious where it's gonna go.
I'm
I have
looking
a feeling
forward
they're
to
gonna.
Tuesday.
I have a feeling they're gonna kill the Hood, which I'm a little disappointed in if they do.
Typical Marvel. Kill the
But
villains.
what they could do, which is not that big of a deal, is kill him, but not destroy the Hood.
Mm?
Because I don't think I'd be mad about that as much. Because then
No,
the
that
Hood
I
can come
wouldn't.
back.
Because the hood is the hood. So I mean,
That's what I mean. No,
they
but you understand
they
what I'm saying. So
we
it's like
talked about that in What If. So
correct. So it's like to me, I'm like they wouldn't be killing the villain off like they would
Yeah.
normally do because it would still exist as an entity somewhere else. But it also could be that the avatar of Mephisto,
Yep. Which also is.
which was mentioned in Agatha.
Yep. I mean, they're heavily hinting it right now.
Well,
So.
no, no, no. The reason why I'm saying is because we figured out what that was because of Moon Knight, what
Mhm.
avatars are, and
Yep.
then now we're getting exactly, you know, I mean, we're actually getting to the point of like, oh, could devils have it as well?
Hmm.
Because Mephisto could. I can't see why not. Granted, he would not be doing it as nicely as the other gods, although I don't know if nice is the word I would use, but you understand what I'm saying.
I mean, he's really. I mean, if we're going on along the lines of what he's doing right now, is corrupting. What's his name? Parker. Doesn't look that nice right now. So
Well, we've seen what others have done, and weirdly enough, this isn't 100% the worst thing.
as of yet.
Valid. Valid. Because I'm assuming it's going to get worse. You're absolutely right.
Mhm.
But no, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, when this airs, which is Monday, because we record this on Sunday, it'll be a day away. So I'm looking forward to it.
I was so confused where you were going with that part.
No, no, no.
So
Well,
I
it's
was
because
like,
it's the next because the next three episodes come out
yep, on
at the
Tuesday.
end.
Yep.
So we're going to be talking. Let's move on to my character spotlight, which are the Blood Brothers. Now, the two girls who were found in the Fight Club are actually their last names are Blood,
Oh, okay.
which is why I know for a fact that they are supposed to be the Blood Brothers.
Mm.
Obviously, in this, they're the Blood Sisters, but you get my point.
So woke.
Honestly, they need to shut it down.
Should have
Other than
ended it at Endgame.
should have been, yeah, honestly, after Iron Man, it should have been done. Um, so these two characters were introduced in 1972.
Okay.
I don't know why, but like characters like this who are so abstract that they were still around is weird to me. But anyway, so I'm going to try to pronounce their real names, and then I'm going to tell you their aliases, because their aliases are a hell of a lot easier to say. So it is Guri and Rojos Blood. I am most likely pronouncing those completely wrong. However, the aliases are Gary and Ross. So we're going to go with that. And you know damn well I'm going to go with that instead. So they're better known as the Blood Brothers. So they're called Rock Rocklets? Rocklets? Rocklets. Rocklets.
Saying the word the same way over and over again in different tones isn't going to change how it's pronounced.
So anyway, they're a
I
creature.
was expecting you
First,
to
they're.
say it one more time.
I'm done with you. No, they're a specific species that apparently exists in the galaxy, um, and they're not technically from Earth. They're from the homeland of Rockland, fifth from the sun.
Rockland Trust.
I just want to say it that way because apparently they're not human in the comics. Okay. Um,
Yeah, that's fine.
so they
I'm
were in
curious if
service.
they're going to hint at that in the show now.
I'm thinking not. I think they're going to keep them as like metahumans in some way, maybe. Because if you notice, they are physically stronger than what they should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, they were in service of the Conqueror Thanos for years. They were members of his Butcher Squadron and later acted as guardians of his first base on Earth. Pursued by Drax the Destroyer, the duo battled the superheroes Iron Man and Thing in a bid to stop them from interfering in Thanos' plans. When they failed to do so, a disgusted Thanos teleported the Blood Brothers away because they were useless to him. They reappeared years later on Earth in the service of the Controller. Again, they battled Iron Man, who defeated them with the aid of the hero Daredevil. Because who else, when you're facing an alien, you get a blind guy. And they had locked them up in Rikers Island, which I also find weird because they're aliens and we're putting them in a regular prison. One of them managed to break out, but was quickly recovered and accidentally aided Iron Man in defeating the Controller. They're not the brightest bulbs. Sometime later, the United States military discovered Thanos' old Earth base, and after activating some machinery, they accidentally teleported the Blood Brothers to the location. The two battled the Avengers and were eventually depowered by Thanos' brother, Eros. The Blood Brothers were imprisoned but later released by the hero Quasar and left on the planet Mars. Sometime after this, the brothers attempted in vain to stop Rogue of the X-Men from rescuing a mutant extraterrestrial of the Skrull race. Later on, the brothers fought alongside many of Earth's superheroes and villains against the invasion of Ego, the living planet. After becoming imprisoned along with alien criminals, um, Pybok of the Power Scroll, and the Blood Lunatic, the Blood Brothers crashed landed on Earth, and Ross perished in a confrontation with Jax the Destroyer, and Gary was locked up deep in the maximum security prison of the Raft. I'm saying it that way because they use their real names, and I got screwed up for a second.
I saw the pause. I was like, why did you get stuck saying Ross? And I was like, because they put the real name and you had to remember what his alias was.
Yep. So much later Gary was seen along escaping other escaping villains outside the prison of the Raft. Among countless of the other supervillains, the Blood Brother joined the Hood's criminal army, which intended to take advantage of the chaos created due to the Superhuman Registration Act, which we know from the Civil War, the real Civil War. He was active with the group during the secret invasion of the Skrulls, where they worked with the heroes to defeat the alien army. He worked with the team on various missions, including facing the new Avengers. During the events of the Siege of Asgard, the Blood Brother, specifically Gary, was among the members of the Hood's gang that assisted Norman Osborn's attack on the Asgardians. Following Osborn's defeat, Gary was arrested together with the rest of the crewmen, and he was imprisoned again on the raft. Due to no longer being able to feed off his late brother's power, which we'll talk about later, Gary started to weaken. He was found by Mr. Knife, because that's a name, who used the Black Vortex on him to unleash his cosmic potential and made him join his Slaughter Lords as the Blood Brother. So, after Mr. Knife's plan to turn Spartaks into broadhives was thwarted by the heroes that opposed him, namely the cosmically empowered Kitty Pryde. Imagine that. Cosmic Kitty Pryde. The Slaughter Lords were forced to flee to avoid the wrath of Ronan the Accuser, who was bent on having revenge for the destruction of his home planet at the hands of Mr. Knife. Weird name. At some point in time, Ross returned to life and was reunited with Gary. They were both imprisoned by S.H.I.E.L.D. in Pleasant Hill, a prison in the form of a small town where its inmates had their memories and appearances tempered with using the sentient cosmic cube named Kobik, so they could turn into model citizens. When a group of villains led by Baron Zemo snapped out of this fantasy world and returned to their true selves, they attacked the village from within, wrecking havoc and freeing the other prisoners from Pleasant Hill's control. When the conflict was coming to its end, following Baron Zemo's defeat, the Blood Brothers were among the inmates that tried to escape, but were rooted. Sorry, but were stopped. I don't know why it said rooted, but were stopped by numerous superheroes at the scene. The Brothers subsequently joined a new incarceration of the Lethal Legion, which was assembled by the Grand Master in order to fight on his behalf for the Challenger's Black Order as part of a contest. They were teleported to Earth to use the planet as a battleground, which anyone does, as always. The Blood Brothers were among the members of their team dispatched to Rome, Italy, to fight the Earth Paramoid. Both fights for each Paramoid were intercepted by groups of the Avengers, and the round what?
No, it's
Oh,
not not
I
not
thought
you.
it was me. I was like,
Nope.
I know I'm saying words wrong, but
No,
you don't
no,
know.
I'm rubbing my eyes because getting it's
Getting
late and
late.
I've had a long day.
The round ended with each of the two pyramids were secured. The one in Rome was taken by the Black Order's Black Dwarf. He was teleported again, but in such a fashion it seemed that he had been disintegrated. For the second round, the teams didn't split up for the most part, while the Black Order tried and failed to siege the ice pyramids placed in Antarctica and were stopped by the Avengers. All members of the Lethal Legion, except for Farron the Other, were confronted another group of Avengers in New Mexico in order to obtain the air paramoid. During this confrontation, Mentacle took control of the body of one of the Blood Brothers and tried to make him claim it against his will, but was knocked out by Hawkeye. After Red Wolf claimed the Paramoid, most of the Lethal Legion were knocked out, including the Blood Brothers. Following the end of the contest, the Avengers' victory over the Challenger, um, the Lethal Legion regrouped and escaped to nowhere, which we know from Guardians of the Galaxy, since they were facing near-death situations when the Grandmaster recruited them. None of them had anywhere to return to. They decided to stay together and see what they could do with their combined power. So, their powers: symbiosis. Nope. No, symbiosis. Symbiosis. Sorry.
Mm. I was
Um,
like trying to process how to say it correctly as well.
right?
So
Because I'm reading it and I'm like, I'm not that far off. So the Blood Brothers are linked um, symbolically in a way that isn't entirely known. Their relationship directly affects their superhuman abilities with each brother. While within close proximities, um, such as a few feet apart, their powers are at their peak, and the further away they are from each other, the powers begin to decrease.
which explains them, like you said earlier, feeding off of each other.
Why they were always together. Um, Superhuman strength. They each possess great superhuman strength, at least to which they are within close proximity of each other. When they're at their peak, they can lift about 50 tons.
Hmm.
With their speed, they can also run at speeds that are beyond natural physical limitations of the finest human athlete, though the level of performance is dependent upon the proximity of one another. They have great stamina. Um, they have incredible durability. They have great agility and great reflexes, so all superhuman in general. Their abilities. Although they have no formal training, they are formidable hand-to-hand combatants, which I feel is very accurate from what we've seen in the show.
Yeah,
Like their training is them fighting. I know that's weird to say.
they're street fighters. Like,
Exactly, exactly. Their weaknesses um, is their link to each other that grants them their power that negates those. So anything that stops them from being connected in some way reduces their power, and simply separating the two of them also weakens them as well. The greater the distance, the more they're affected, and the weaker they become. The brothers have been rendered unconscious by a blow from a normal, non enhanced human male when they were just separated from 20 yards apart. So I want to make that known as well, just because they seem to be very strong when they're very close together. However,
get any kind of separation, and they are just not.
correct. They apparently were also part of the battle between Marvel and the DC universe.
Oh,
There was a comic about it. That's why.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but no, I thought that was kind of interesting. So we're going to talk about their power scaling. So obviously their power scaling is based out of 7, as it always is. So their intelligence is a 2 because it's considered normal. Their strength, however, is a 5 because it's superhuman, and they can lift a max of 50 tons. Their speed is a 2 because it's considered normal, which I find that to be odd because they say it's enhanced.
I was about to say, like you just said, it was enhanced.
I know, but I'm wondering if it's because it doesn't. Although it's stronger than peak human, I don't think it's so far advanced that it is like superhuman fully. If you understand what I'm saying, like it's
Oh yeah,
beyond regular human, but it's not like
yep, yep.
their durability is a 6 out of 7, superhuman. Their energy projection is a 1 because it doesn't exist, and their fighting skills are a 4 out of 7, and it's just because of their experience as a fighter, which I find that to be very interesting. So I thought this was kind of cool because they're not humans in the comics, but they're obviously humans in the MCU, and I find that to be kind of cool. So I'm very curious. In their comic book names, I mean their character names are, I believe it's something similar, where it's like Rachel and something Blood. From the show, I mean.
Oh, okay.
But yep, so that's my character spotlight, and I thought that was very interesting because it is seeing what they did with the characters in the comics to what we're seeing in the show, very different, but like two characters that I never knew existed. So I
Hmm.
don't care. But I think it's kind of cool to see it that way too. And I'm also very curious to see where it turns into later. But for now, next week we're going to be talking about the series finale of Ironheart. Any trailers that come out,
It's like it just started.
it did. Any trailers that come out and a character spotlight from Mike. And then we'll see what happens for the following week. Oh no, the following week is Superman. No,
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
we'll go with yes. And then the following
Because
week,
because
isn't it?
because
Wait, is it 2 weeks or 1 week apart? Is it 2 weeks apart from
it's
Fantastic
2
Four?
weeks. So it's 2 weeks apart. So this coming weekend is Jurassic Park. Next
That's what I'm
week,
thinking of.
yeah,
Okay.
next weekend is Superman, and then 2 weeks after that is Fantastic Four, which
Okay, so we
which we are not seeing together. Correct? It,
correct.
balls in your hand. So, because obviously you're the one who has to travel to me.
I know. I think that's my issue is I don't want to really travel, but at the same time, how often is it going to happen? So you know what? We'll say, you know what? Screw it. Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, because it's like the next one's not going to be until what?
The next movie isn't coming out. It isn't gonna. Next Marvel movie isn't gonna be until next
Correct.
year.
That's what I'm saying. And
So
the same thing with Supergirl.
yeah, that's true. Okay.
So it's like so it's two, yes, it's two very close together, but then not until next year. I think for me it was originally it was going to be like every single month, which at one point it was feeling that way because they were
For
talking about.
Marvel, yeah, it was.
Well, to be fair, we weren't that far off, so I was like, no, we can't. There's no way I could do that. But to do it twice in 1 month and then not again until
I mean,
next year.
originally we were only doing it for like the big movies, which
But
was
these two are big ones.
yeah. I was gonna say like these are two big ones. Where
No,
before
no,
we
no.
were
I
like
agree with you. Like, we're not
Doctor
gonna do
Strange was, Spider Man was, but
Doctor
then like
Strange 2 specifically.
yeah, but then Thor came out and we were like no.
No, and it was a good choice. But you get my point I'm making. It's like I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
But no, I'm very much looking forward to it. But yeah, so that's what we'll be doing next week. We'll be doing that, and then we'll be seeing what we're doing after that. Who knows what? But for now, if you made it this far into the video, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Scott and Mike signing out of the Black Eel Podcast. Have a wonderful night.